Hey everybody, Jill here with the beginning of my next video. Another use it up, crash the stash, whatever you want to call it. Although, obviously, I don't think I will ever use these paints up. The picture I just showed you before the video started was how many Dylusions paints I bought several years ago and have not used since. It was like a trip down memory lane trying to find the one picture I remember doing with my Dylusions paints, and I couldn't find it. But I have to give a little blast from the past here. This is one page I found that I did in 2015. I think this was the second face I ever did. And I am not embarrassed about that at all. The second face I ever did in 2015, 11/26. And this is 2/7 that I'm starting this video of 2018. I had found Christy Sobolewski on YouTube, Golf Sprite, and she had a bazillion videos, and she drew these beautiful faces, and she did this process of colored pencil with white. It was either white acrylic ink or white high flow paint on top. And I did this page, and I was hooked. I've been working on faces ever since. So anyway, I could not find the one page I remember doing with my Dylusions paints. So not only did I have to have all 12 colors, I bought the first 6 when they came out, and then the next, what was it, 6 or 8, and then the additional colors came out, and I had to have those too. And I went and bought all these blending tools. Look, and what did I use? Three blending tools. Look, these have been sitting there all this time, not used. I got this blender. This must have been in a pack with the round ones. What I found is the way they use the Dylusions paint is really not my style. The blending, the stamping, I don't know, it just wasn't my style. That doesn't mean I don't like the paints. Let me get rid of all these while I'm gabbing. And I promise I'll try not to talk too much, but I am a talker, I admit it. I tried it with the blenders and the stamping, and I don't know, it just didn't grab me. And shortly after I bought these, very shortly after, I think it was this one. Look, I'm gonna get crumbs on my page opening it up. Was it? No, it wasn't this one. This one's in pretty, look, I haven't opened these, I'm promising you, in at least 2 years. Look at the paint crumbs. Was it the purple? Got gloppy, and I started seeing online that lots of people's purple got gloppy. There were certain colors, and look, I mixed all kind of water in there. Let me get my palette brush. My palette knife. I have no idea what condition this paint is in. You would think before I started a video, I would open it up and check. Oh yeah, gloppy. Look. But it did that a long time ago. It did that shortly after I bought it. I was very disappointed. Look, I haven't opened. I have 12 colors. I have not opened them up. It will be a surprise to see what they're like. But you know, even this gloppy one, I'm sure with a paintbrush, I'll be able to do something with it. Who knows if I'm going to use purple or not. So let me get rid of these. Look, now I got oh no, it didn't stick, good. So I will tell you, I found the Dylusions paint the way they were promoting them through videos, and especially the Ranger videos and even other people's videos. It looked attractive to me, but when I tried it, it wasn't me. So what I would like to try and do today is start to use these paints like other acrylic paints. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm forcing them to be something they weren't designed to be, but I want to use them like I paint. I do like to scrape with a card, so I'm sure I will start with that. I'll use this palette knife for getting it out. And look, I always do faces. I understand people who watch my videos don't all draw faces. So I promise I will do some videos without faces in them. But for today, I'm going to do this page with a background and at least start the video to put a face on it. And let's see what happens. There are 2 things I know for sure that I like about Dylusions paint. They cover well, they're highly pigmented, they dry fast, and they are great for journaling on top of with different pens. That's what they're designed for. The finish is made to accept work on top of them. And I love line work. I love doodling. I love mark making. So I'm sure I can make these work. This page is not finished. This was my morning journal page I got out my TWSBI Eco with my green ink in it, and I got started, but I didn't have enough time this morning. This will get finished, I promise, probably before I go to bed tonight. So, let's start. I have 12 colors. I am overwhelmed by 12 colors. I normally limit myself to 2 or 3, or 2 colors plus white. So, let's start with my favorites. I love lime green. This is called Fresh Lime. And I do love, let's start with my favorites, lime green and teal. And, oh, I haven't opened this one up. Oh, it looks pretty good. So, I'm going to, I do have a smaller, maybe a smaller palette knife would be less wasteful of paint, because you only need very little of these. Let's put a little paint on. Now they, look, I'm not going to lie. Let's leave that open. I looked up some videos. I thought, well, okay, let me brush up on what they do with these and what they're like. And they say, work fast, work fast. They dry really fast. So, okay, I'm listening. I'm not gonna be a total rebel. So for me, I probably didn't have enough paint on there, but let's add some teal. Okay, my little palette knife. I'll go with a little more this time. Okay, let's see. Oops, that covered off most of the green. That's all right. I'll just keep working, see what happens. Now, when I scrape like this with my craft paints, I get a nice transparent, which I kind of like. But that's all right. I don't expect these to be transparent. They're nice. They're made to cover well. All right, that's a start. I don't have enough room to leave them all open. Let's get a yellow. Ooh, yellow's in good shape too. It's not gloppy. See if we can just fill in. It is a lighter color, so I'm hoping it just fills in some of the holes. You know, I can also break down and use a brush. Here, I'm just going to take kind of a crappy brush. Yep, just like I thought. The yellow is much more transparent. It'll fill in some of these white areas. Makes a nice green where it goes over top of that teal. And I'm just going to dip right into my container. Now, to do a face on here, I have to decide, do I want to mix colors? Because I can mix a skin tone out of any, especially having white. I can mix a skin tone out of anything. Or do I want to make it very, I was thinking about making it pop art looking. Do you know what I mean by that? Bold colors where you wouldn't expect them to be, hard lines. Oh, there was a little bit of wet teal there, I think. Okay. Now that's busy. That's a lot of background. I don't even know how these brushes rinse. But that rinsed out pretty easily. Okay. So, they are known for drying super, super fast. So you can just keep working. Let's see. I don't want to get my heat gun out, though, while I'm on camera. It's just an awful sound. All right. So now, I think I need some stencils now. Hold on while I get stencils. Okay, I admit it, I love circles. I have this, I ended up with way too many stencils, more than I can use. I have this piece of scrapbook paper. It's just paper, but the more paint it gets, look, that's pretty cool. I haven't used that in a while. This is circles. It was a game board for a bingo set where you punch the bingo pieces out. I love that stencil. You would not believe how often I have used that. This was a little cheapy, in the cheap, I don't know, wall painting section of the craft store, and I've used that stencil a lot. This one I haven't used too much, but it's pretty nice. Circles with stripes through them, and then this stencil I have used quite a bit. Then, I love making circles with an old, you can tell I've got different colors on each end of this tube. I love stamping circles with this. So let's see. Well, let's see. My first inclination was, even though this is rather large, somehow I'm feeling this. And my decision is going to be, do I be a rebel and use a cosmetic sponge, which I heard other people say in videos soaks up the Dylusions paints too much and leaves an uneven surface? Or do I get out a blending? Here, this one's teal. Do I get out a blending tool? All right, Jill. Swallow your pride. Let's use a blending tool. They say dip it into the lid so you only get a little bit of paint. And smear it around in circles. I don't know. That just feels so unnatural to me. Let's see. I probably should have a craft mat out, so after I dip my blending tool into the lid, I could smooth it out a little. Alright, this is a process video. I'm leaving it full time. I'm sharing my thoughts with you. Some people like, you know, a speed video. If you do, just speed this up. I'm sure you can do it. Alright, let's see what we have. Oh, that's okay. I think I'm going to leave it at that. Now, I don't know. Let's try another circle stencil. Keep our theme of circles going. Do I go back to the smallest circles? Now, I do use this stencil. I like this stencil. But I'm not going to use the blending tool. I'm going to go for the cosmetic sponge. Let's see what happens. Oh, I don't see where there's a problem with that. Now, I don't know where I'm going to put the face yet, and I'm not worried. These paints cover pretty well, and I kind of like it when some of these little dots show through the face, so I'm not worried. Let's see what we have. Okay. For a little cohesiveness, let's put some over here. Boring, boring, you're watching me stencil circles. See, can you tell? I'm a two color plus white person. 2 color plus black and white. Is it time to add white? Alright, I'm going to close up the yellow. I think I heard somebody say that every time you use them, boy, that was years ago, every time you use them, put a little spray of a little mist of water in them, but I don't have a spray bottle set up right now with distilled water. I don't want to introduce any germs. Maybe after I stop the video, I'll do that. Let's see how, I'm going to open the white over here on the side so I don't drop any crumbs on the, oh, the white looks good. Look, it's nice and loose. It's the best one yet. Do I use the same sponge? Yeah, I think I just use the same sponge. Do I want to use this one? I think that's going to be too much. Let's try this. The white hopefully will tone it down a little. It's pretty transparent when you put it on. Look, it's mixing with the blue that I had in my sponge anyway, which is toning it down a little. You know, at the end, I really want to doodle on this with a white Posca pen or a white Sakura pen or a jelly roll, something. So I'm not worried if the white is super intense. I want my white pen work to really show. That one's a little messy, I'm not worried. Okay, so I tried the blending tool, tried a cosmetic sponge. I actually think that's enough for the background, although, yeah, I do want to use my tube. I don't know what color is going to show up though. Let me try the lime green, because I didn't stencil with any lime green. I'm dipping it right into the lid. Let's see. Oh, I like that. I love random. I do this a lot. I like that. Good enough. Okay, let me get this dry. I'm going to close up and spritz a little water in my paints and get ready to start thinking about what I'm going to put on top. Okay, so I can tell you right now, where you apply the paint thin will dry fast. These circles with the paper towel tube were thick and they're still, I dried and dried and dried with the heat gun and they weren't getting dry. So I took this paper towel and I put it down and rubbed it really hard and picked it up, dried and dried and dried with the dryer, put it down again a second time, and you could see the paint on here was still wet and added some extra circles, but I like that. I much prefer it. Oh, look, see, there's a wet spot. No matter how much I dried with the heat gun, look, I'm just going to rub it with my fingers. I'm impatient. I want it to dry where this other part dried really fast. Okay, so now what am I going to draw a face with? I don't know if I want to use... Let me just start with a Stabilo all pencil. I don't know if you guys want it real time or not. Let me speed this part up. Okay, so there's a really quick and simple, I didn't have a reference picture. It's probably pretty wonky, but I'm not really worried about it. This is my art journal. I got out a piece of palette paper. One of the videos I watched today, I know it was an older video because she only had the first half of the set, and apparently the second half of the set was not out yet. And her words were, I would never paint a face with these, they dry too fast. And I chuckled to myself and said, oh, okay, I'm painting a face. But, you know, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. No big deal. I will keep in mind that they dry really fast. So I thought maybe instead of contaminating the container, I should put a little bit of each color out on my palette paper. Now, I probably should have done this off camera because you will most likely be bored. So let's see. And each time, I'm doing what they said. Each time I open these, I'm spraying in a spritz of distilled water. Something about the wide lids, it just has so much air surface that They dry more quickly, apparently, but they're made to dry quickly, right? We know this. That's what they're designed to do. Between that and the wide lid surface, that's got to be, look, I might be getting out too much and wasting it, but I don't know if I'm ever going to use these up. And anything I have out extra at the end, I will smear on something else, on some other page. I'm going to introduce a new color for skin. I'm going to introduce some orange. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, not bad. Let's introduce some orange. And I think I might get out some white. A little spray. And some white. This is a lot of paint for a small face. But like I said, I want to have fun. Okay. You know, I haven't made all that many videos, and I learn things as I go. And right now I'm thinking one of the things I just learned is get these paints out before you start filming and have them all ready to go. So, all right. So let's see. I want to start by putting in the darks, and I don't know if it's going to mix in a little bit with that Stabilo. I'm hoping it does. So I want to pick out the darkest areas. Now, there's a fair amount of blue already in the background, so it's not going to be all that noticeable, I think. I'm not looking for a polished face in this piece. This is a small brush, but it's flat. I think when I get to some of the details later, I might get out a little round brush. Let's focus on some of these shadows. The shadow under the chin and under the neck. I did pick up some of the Stabilo. It is kind of tricky. Kind of tricky to paint a face with these. They don't give you a thin transparent coat. They're very opaque. So I'm not used to that. My craft paints, I can smooth them out into a thin. I haven't tried adding water yet, but I hesitate to add too much. Well, there you go. Well, maybe I can add a little water. But it doesn't matter. I'm probably going to paint over those with some green. Face it, I don't know what I'm doing. This is a challenge. I'm laughing at myself because I don't know what I'm doing. All right. That's a start. Now, my question to myself is, and I said this earlier in the video, do I want to keep painting with the straight colors, or do I want to try mixing? Do I want to take some orange and blue and make a skin tone, or some orange and light green? Before I do that, before I take that leap, I'm going to start painting with some lime to start bringing out my highlights. So we want her cheek, obviously, to be lighter. And this cheek. I can pretty much guarantee you I will be going in at the end with white in the whites of her eyes to make those really stand out. I want just a little touch of highlight on each side of the nostril. Ooh, too much, too much. Let me thin that down. You know, they are just acrylic paints. They have, you know, obviously slightly different characteristics, but they are just acrylic paints. Now, I want some of that background to show through her face. I don't want it to be completely opaque, so I'm happy with that. I'm sort of really liking that highlight above that eye, too. So I want to recreate a little bit of that over here. It won't be the same, but I want some of the same value, that it's not only light on one side and not the other. Okay. Put a little bit of green on the chin. Sorry, I stopped talking when I focus. That's why, you know, I too like speed videos. I can sit and concentrate and not worry about what I'm saying. And then just either voice over or add some titles later. I'm going to have to introduce some orange to... Oh, no, I didn't want blue. I put my brush in the blue. I'm going to have to introduce some orange later to warm her up a little so she's not so alien looking. Let's see. She needs a lot more light down in this neck area. I don't know. The jury is still out on this. She needs highlight on the lower lip. I said I wanted a pop art look. I really don't want realism. Now I'm even second guessing my thoughts about adding the orange and the white. I want to blend in some of this Stabilo so they're not so pencil-y looking. There's definitely pencil line looking areas there. I kind of like her. Let me get my, I'm going to rinse my brush, just because, and get my Stabilo pencil out again. And let me firm up the shape of her eyes. And her nostrils. I'm mumbling because once again, I'm basically, you know, I'm filming, but I'm basically talking to myself. Okay. What I do is off camera, I wipe that off the end of my Stabilo pencil on a napkin. So now I have all this paint left over and I haven't used it. Do I want to give her wild orange hair? That's kind of risky. Let me get a bigger brush. I'm going to take a bigger brush, wet it some, so the paint isn't too thick. Let's be bold. Orange hair on top of all that blue and lime green. Where it picks up the Stabilo, I'm happy. It creates some natural shading there near her face, which we've all seen a lot of times. That's a good way to make use of Stabilo pencils. And before I go in there next to her face, I want to go add some more of this so it picks up and gives a nice shadow there on the inside of her neck. Okay, I hope that wasn't too much. A little bit of water on my brush, a little bit of orange paint. I suppose you could always use black paint there or blue paint, right? And mix it with the orange. But since I've started blending in the Stabilo, I figure I may as well keep going with that. Add a little more there. I don't want a lot of details here. I might be going over it with a lot of doodling, so I'm just going to keep it loose. I'm adding a little bit of water to thin this orange down. I don't want it to go on too bold and solid. I'm going to pick up some straight orange there to bring out a highlight. And I like the way that looks, so I'm going to go back and add a little bit over here of straight, thick. Who knows, maybe I'll doodle over it with a turquoise pen. We shall see. Okay, that brush is too big for lips, so I'm going to take, no, I'm going to get an even smaller brush. It's not a real good brush, but it's small. I'm going to pick up some orange, put some orange in her lips. Nah, I don't like that. I might have to paint that over. Let's see what happens. I might paint that over. I don't like that at all. Now see, I'm trying to treat it like regular acrylic paint and blend it back off, but I might put, maybe I need to take a break. I like to add a little bit of a contrasting color in the irises, just random. And obviously, since her hair is orange, she needs a little orange in her eyebrows. Wow, she's looking pretty hideous right now. I'm laughing. It all comes together in the end. Let's not worry, okay? I'm going to take a little break. And I will come back, let this dry, think about where I'm headed. She's looking pretty alien, isn't she? I'm going to think about where I'm headed and come back and maybe finish her tomorrow. I'll be back. Okay, I am back. I had to take a couple days. I had to walk away from this. I'm really unhappy with the last things I did. The orange on her face altogether is hideous. I like the orange in her hair. And I had a little bit of a panic. Why am I making videos with supplies I'm not comfortable with? Why am I making videos of new stuff that, you know, I haven't really used it this way before? I should make videos of stuff that's all comfortable and happy and I can do easily and be proud of how it turns out. And I'm like, Jill, you're being silly. I'm pretty sure all of us go through this. We start out and then we go, oh no, what have we done? So I'm going to use it as a teachable moment for myself to say, okay, let's persevere. Let's figure out what it is you like and don't like and what I can do to possibly fix it. I'm having trouble keeping my pages flat, so let me take off this clip. So I thought about it. I hate the orange in her face. I can paint that out, right? I can keep going. When I was finished that last segment of video, a few days ago, I took the extra paint on my palette paper and I smeared it on this page with a gift card, an empty gift card. And I love the muted colors. There was a lot of white. The white mixed in, the white went on top, it toned it down. So I had this beautiful background and I did this girl all with a Stabilo, all pencil. I did this on my sofa. I was happy. It was easy. I loved the way it went. But what I like about it are these colors. So maybe what's bothering me here is the intensity of the colors. These paints were made to be intense and highly pigmented, but maybe I need to turn them into what makes me happy, and that is tone it down. So here we go. First thing I'm going to do. First thing we're going to do is paint out the orange. I'll go back to my dark blue that I used. Let's paint out the orange. I'm going to go over this once it's dry with a little bit of Stabilo so it's not so blue, because I also don't want her face to be this vibrant blue. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to go back to adding some of this blue around. You'll see. I hope. Who knows if it'll work. Who knows? But I think next video I make might be something in my comfort zone, just to keep me, I don't know, keep me motivated, somewhat comfortable. Okay. Do I want to leave the orange in her eyes? I'm not even sure. I love a pop in eye color of the opposite, so there's a lot of green and blues. So I love a pop of orange, which is opposite on the color wheel. You know what? I'm even going to take the orange out of her eyes, but I don't want it to be blue. I'm going to use the lime green that I have over here. Let's take the orange out of her eyes. Okay. Let's let that dry. It might take a little while because when you brush this paint on thick, I notice it takes, I think I said that in an earlier segment, it takes longer to dry. Smooth out any blops. Oh, now see, the Stabilo all is already mixing in there. I like that. Darken it up some. There's some Stabilo all that I did not activate there on her nose. Let me activate that. Now, look, I ended up doing this while it's wet and it actually works. Now, the other thing I want to do, well, one of the other things I want to do is I want to bring some of this orange into the background. I thought I'd bring it into her face, and that didn't work. So let's get back out. Now, this is going to lay on the wet part, but I think that's okay. Let's get back out my little dot stencil. But I want small dots. Let's see. Maybe I'll line some dots up with... It would help if I got my orange paint out. Okay, I'm just going to use straight from the lid. And this paint is dry from last time, but it's still soft enough. So, let me dab some orange right up here. I just want a hint. Nothing major. Okay. Bring some down here. I have a feeling I'm going to be toning down a lot of this paint anyway. Maybe not the background, but at least now I'm going to have to fight clips on and off. It's alright. I'll just try and hold the page down. Let's put a little bit of orange up here. Now, last time you saw me working this page, the page on the left, I like these. I'm interrupting myself. I like these little dots down the side. Let's see if I can get those in there. This page on the left was not finished last time. I went back and I did finish it. I don't know if it's all in there. I poured out some of my anxiety over this page and the writing on this page. Okay, so there's my orange. I think I can put my orange away. Again, seems to be working to put a spray of distilled water in every time I open them up. So, this is almost dry. I'm going to go back in, put some Stabilo. And wet that really quickly because I want to move on to my next plan, which I think will make all the difference. I mixed up a skin tone. I learned this formula for a skin tone from Christy Sobolewski, and she does it so successfully. Thank you, Christy, for teaching me to mix pink and green with some white to make a beautiful skin tone. So I'm going to use that today. And I mixed it up before I got on camera, so it wouldn't take so much time. I can go back later with these eyes and add white and highlights. Let's activate. And this under her neck, I added some more Stabilo under there. And remember, when you wet the Stabilo, it gets really dark, but then it dries lighter. So I always look at it and go, oh, look how dark that is, but it dries lighter. Okay. So, here's my skin tone. I think I can put the blue away. Let me close this up. Don't want them having too much access to air. We're a little wet over here, but I'm going to go for it. I don't know if this is the brush I should use. I think I will. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of this skin tone here. Once again, it's pink, the lime green, and white. And let's see if we can warm up, tone down her face a little. I'm hoping it's sheer enough that some of the darks underneath show through. Maybe I can mix in a little bit of water. Thin it. Mix in a little water. Right off the bat, it seems too bright. But I'm going to persevere. I'm going to keep trying. I'm not looking for perfectly smooth. I kind of like some painterly brush strokes. And some of that Stabilo all and some of that wet blue can mix right in. That's all good with me. I'm wetting my brush so it's thin. I don't know. I'm not sure she's getting any better. Okay, let's just keep going. I'm going to go back later and add white in her eyes. So let's not worry about her eyes right now. I also can add some straight white highlights. I don't think that'll be a problem. Her eyebrows are pretty heavy, aren't they? Let's see if I can thin them down a little, soften them up. If I didn't, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have enough of that skin tone. It would be really simple to mix up some more anyway. I found out last time I was filming with these paints that I put way too much paint out. But it's all good. I used it for the background on that other page. Okay. She's not getting much better, is she? I can go back and add some Stabilo if I'm losing too many of the shadows and the darks. We can make a lot of layers here. I'm doing a lot of scrubbing. Got too much paint over here. Let's add a little bit of this skin tone to her neck. I want some of those. I'm sorry, I got very quiet again. That's not going to be a very interesting part of the video, huh? I could always make a speed it up in a voiceover if I have to. But hoping some of that stencil work in the background does show through. Okay. So I think her eyes are going to be bright green. With this same brush, I'm going to add some white here, bright white. I think I need a smaller brush. Let's see. Smaller brush, smaller brush. I don't know. This is a little bit smaller. I don't want it to be neat and perfect, but I also don't like some of those big blobs I got there. I don't know. It's kind of abstract. I'm all right with that. I'm going to smooth out a little bit right there. Remember, we can always go back and add Stabilo All Pencil where we need it. Okay, now I want to add some white highlights. Maybe that, I doubt it's still wet, that skin tone, but I want to go back in with a light wash of straight white. Let's brighten her up a little here. There's always a nice highlight on the nose. It really didn't come out a highlight. Oops. Wow. I accidentally got some pink. Boy, I am a mess today. Don't mind me. Let's take that off. Okay, let's get straight white. Some of the other colors are mixing in, and that's fine. They must have not been completely dry. Too much white. Rinse my brush. Smooth it out, tone it down. Gotta try and bring back a little brightness there under her nose. Yeah, I'm being too quiet. You know what? I still don't really like her. Her eyes are interesting. So, what I'm going to do now is take some of this, maybe I need a bigger brush. I'm going to take a bigger brush. Is this too big? No. Let's take a nice big brush. I'm going to wet it. Pick up a wash of the white, and let's see if we can push back some of this background. A little more water. Try and go in my clean water jar. Okay. I still don't know. I'm still completely up in the air with this girl. Go back with a few darks. I think I lost too much around her nose. I'm kind of liking the abstract look of her eyes, though. So I don't think I want to mess with that. Let me just activate this a little bit. I think I might have to be done. Well, I will say she's better than she was when I started this segment of the video. I'm going to try and bring back a little bit of dark pupils. A little bit of eyebrows. What do you think? Well, it's a page in my journal done, right? I could go now on and doodle or mark make in the background. I think I'm done with her. That's as good as it gets. I do think that maybe I should just make a video of doing this, which I'm much happier with, and would be a delightful video for me to make. It would also be very quick and easy. I'll have to think on that. Let me know. Is this an absolute fail? Are you willing to try it this way and see if you can work it out? I don't know. Let me know. I appreciate all comments. I try and answer all of them. And I will see you soon.